कई वार्ता.
This is the story of those times when I was your age. This area was completely barren and drought-stricken. We had perennial water problems. Rivers and small streams remained dry for years on end. Women and children traveled miles in search of water. Dark clouds used to hover over us, but were never benevolent enough to pour over our lands. With eager eyes and hope brimming in their hearts, the poor farmers used to eagerly wait for the rains with dreams of sowing the seeds and reaping a rich harvest.
These projects cover a unique scheme to provide irrigation water by lifting the canal. This project is lifting the total canal by 71 meters.
Ramesh Srivastava and his team, they looked at the scheme and they decided that yes, we would be able to quote along with Thermomechanica, and we would probably need not 3,000 crores to do this job, but something of the order of 600 to 700. Finally, the bids were opened. Fortunately, it was a technical bid that was opened first to bring everyone on par technically. And over here I was very happy that the system that had been designed by Ramesh Srivastava and his team had resulted in us being the most energy efficient. In fact, SR and their partner were loaded to the extent of 200 crores on the grounds of energy inefficiency. And Alstom, who were our former partners, were loaded to the extent of 30 crores because their pumps were more inefficient or less efficient than our pumps. June or July of 2001, I was traveling with Jayant Sapre, and we were on one of our first trips to Africa. And I still remember the date and the day when I got the telephone call from Ramesh Srivastava that we were L1 and we would be getting the order soon. And I was very happy with that process, with the process that had been followed, and the fact that we were successful. And especially this one, to put it in perspective, the size of the order that we received from the state of Gujarat was larger than our annual turnover at that time. And the support that we received from the board was really instrumental in taking this project forward and giving us the confidence that we would be able to do it.
This pumping system was supposed to be done by certain international agency. But since the cost was being quoted that time by the international agency 2,500 crore to 3,000 crore, they were more or less thinking it is going to be very difficult. We happened to discuss with this issue with authorities, and we have told them that it can be reduced the cost to somewhere 600 crores to 800 crore. They were very happy and they wanted to go ahead with this new project. This project was a great opportunity and great challenge to Kirloskar with us. I was fortunate that I was leader for this project at that particular time. I conceived the whole system, brought the new ideas such as concrete volute pump, siphon system, and taking care of various eventualities. This whole project was done by a team which was consisting of myself, then Mr. Rana, Mr. Ravi Ulangbar, Mr. Vijay Uplanchbar, then from the plant that time Mr. S.G. Joshi and Mr. Godbole. Then we have taken some of the people at site, Mr. Sarma. The whole team has taken this as a challenge and gone in big way.
First time in India, such large capacity concrete volute pumps of 72,000 meter cube per hour, designed, manufactured, installed by Kirloskar with us.
All of us are known that this is the largest pumping scheme in the world, and since no references were available for deciding the activities, we faced a lot of challenges right from the initial stage of the project, that is from identification of the lands, finalization of the location of the pumping stations, then during engineering, and also in the implementation of the projects. While selecting the lands, we faced a lot of challenges of accessibility to the site, since the pumping stations are located in a remote areas and there was no approach roads available.
Challenge I would say is to design the scheme which will have the lowest life cycle cost to lift the total water of 410,000 litre per second in 4 phases. Saurashtra branch canal pumping scheme, the part of Sardar Sarovar project, is the engineering marvel not only for India but at the world level, as it is the world's largest pumping scheme ever designed, constructed and implemented.
An auspicious ceremony called the Bhumi Pujan, or revering the land on which a construction is to come up, was performed to mark the beginning of a new chapter in the annals of history of the state of Gujarat. And then began the excavation work on the canals. The canals were wide and deep. To control the inflow, gates were constructed at the entrance of the pumping station. To eliminate unwanted garbage, different variants of filters were used which could meet up to a challenge as big as this. Here you can observe the draft tubes of CV pumps, which are cast with wooden frameworks. This framework is placed on rafts. Later, reinforcements are built around the rafts while concrete is poured into them. This is the view of the water path as it flows into the suction of the draft tube, where the water attains velocity and pressure due to the rotating impeller in the concrete volute. The water gushes out of the pump outlet and goes into the discharge duct through this passage. This is the rotating assembly of a CV pump, which includes the impeller and the impeller shaft. First, a sub-assembly of the rotating parts is made outside, and then it gradually lowers and fits itself into its location. Then the casing cover is placed over the sub-assembly. Subsequently, the impeller shaft is connected to the gearbox by an intermediate shaft and is then connected to the induction motor. The huge electric motors used here are 11 kV squirrel cage induction motors, which run at a speed of approximately 1000 RPM. This motor is connected to the epicyclic gearbox by a process of coupling. The unique feature of this mega project is the designing of the siphon of the discharge duct. An exhaustive study and research on siphon designs were carried out by a team of experts at Kirloskar Brothers Limited, or KBL. A comparative computerized study of the effects of each model of the siphon system were created, testing different flow conditions with various sizes of siphons, after which an expert team from the Hydraulic Research Center of KBL made the physical model.
the use of the concept to save enormous energy for the government was the basic theme behind the project. This concept was recognized by all over the world and we got US patent.
The important feature of the discharge duct is the making of the siphon and also the siphon braking arrangements, which induces air to stop the reverse flow through the siphon when the pumps are switched off. To provide sufficient air to the siphon braking system, air compressors are used to prevent water drain back to the suction, which will result in a disaster. Hence, it is a very critical application as siphon braking system has its own limitations. Water flowing out of the siphon's outlet is discharged into the canal, which in turn is connected to the next pumping station. CV pumps are slow speed pumps. Hence, they require speed reductions to match the motor speed. This technical challenge was solved by introducing epicyclic gearbox, which reduces the speed of the motor by 1:5 ratio. Each CV pump has an enormous capacity of pumping 20,000 liters per second and VT pump of 5,000 liters per second of water. The CV pump is mainly divided into three main parts. First is the draft tube and volute. Second is the metallic steel embedded part, which goes into the concrete. And the third is the rotating assembly. The concrete structure of the CV pump ensures strength, rigidity, and virtually eliminates the problems of corrosion and erosion. The design of the CV pumps is revolutionary in the history of pumping technologies, making the CV pump the heart of this project. The entire pumping station runs successfully for 24 hours all through 365 days of the year. All this results in a saving of 8.5 megawatt energy, which is approximately 10 to 12 crore Indian rupees per annum. The total water flow handled by this pumping station is 6,30,000 liters per second. You know what? Now the trains are no longer required to transport water. They can now carry only passengers. The control system of this project is installed in the auxiliary building. These pumps are controlled by PLC's SCADA system, which controls temperature, pressure, vibration and the water level in the suction. This unique instrumentation of control system is conceived, designed and implemented by KBL. Entire control system is supported by a battery backup. KBL not only gives very competitive project costs, but also innovative designs which result in the lowest operating cost during its life cycle to the owner. This credits a real value for money in the project. Thanks to this project, 5.4 lakh hectares of land has come under irrigation and drinking water is provided to 4,620 towns and villages in the state of Gujarat.
In the world, there is no major irrigation projects which involves a pumping. As a result, looking to the capacity of the canal, this pumping station is one of the largest pumping stations of the world. Specially concrete volute pump has been designed, and for the catering the small capacity, even vertical turbine pumps which has been manufactured by the Kirloskar brothers themselves has been considered. The 5 pumping stations works has been awarded to Kirloskar Brothers Limited.
The successful commissioning and operation of first pumping station for more than 1 year with zero breakdown is because of meticulous planning of Sardar Sarovar and Kirloskar Brothers Limited.
Sardar Sarovar project is a hallmark of engineering excellence. When I get visitors from many foreign countries, from Africa, Middle East and Asia, and when they see this project, they are absolutely awestruck.
The Kirloskar Brothers logo, if you see it, is always accompanied by a line below it. Some people call it a tagline, but it's a line that says enriching lives. It's a lot more than just a tagline. I think what we believe is that it's a promise. It's a promise to our customers that we will not just enrich but transform their lives, as in the case of the Sardar Sarovar project, where, as everyone knows, over 1.8 million hectares of land has been irrigated and over 4,000 towns will get water to drink. But it's also a promise to all of us at KBL, people working here, that we will get to work on larger projects. We will have a sense of achievement at the end of the day. A sense of achievement that we've benefited the country, that we've benefited the company, and in many cases maybe we'll try and benefit the world to some extent.
are so lucky to sleep in peace.
At Kirloskar Brothers Limited, we are enriching lives.
Kirloskar with us, we are enriching the lives.
Kirloskar Brothers, we are enriching lives.
Kirloskar Brothers Limited, we enrich life.
Kirloskar Brothers, we are enriching lives.
In Kirloskar Brothers, we believe in enriching life.
Kirloskar Brothers, enriching life.